Hi, this is Gina Lazenby. Welcome to my video blog, and I'm sitting in the very sunny home of Swami Karma Karuna.
How are you? Welcome. You're most welcome.
And where we are is the most fantastic yoga retreat it's called Anahata, and we've got, aren't we blessed with a fantastic day today? We're squinting. It's so sunny.
Summer's come back. So.
It has, because we've had winter this week, haven't we?
Yes.
I've been here for a week on a yoga retreat, and I just discovered Anahata last week, and it's sitting here on the edge of the Abel Tasman National Park. It's in Golden Bay, which is very golden today, and Swami Karma Karuna has told me that you founded this 16 years ago.
Yeah, about 15 years ago we bought the land.
Yeah.
And we really started from the roots and gradually have built it up. And in the beginning we had only a shell of a building and a bunch of coarse and hard earth that didn't want to grow. And so we've grown the gardens, we've made several buildings, and gradually we went from starting with permaculture courses and more earth-based courses to get everything moving, and now we're really established, I suppose, as a yoga retreat where people are coming from all around the world.
It's beautiful. So. And you're a community here. It's a community of people who live here, yogis and swamis who teach, and it's a base for education out in the world. It's amazing what you've done. You're off the mains water supply.
We are.
You're off electricity.
Off the grid.
So you've been very creative in making something which is really sustainable, haven't you?
It is, and it's always evolving, I suppose. But we have earth buildings, and we dug a bore, so we've got water that comes up from the earth, and solar power. And gradually creating the gardens, which have been really amazing, and this year very abundant.
I know, I've been eating some of the food from the garden. Oh, gorgeous.
It's fantastic. So, and it's just a gradual process, to be honest. Keeps on evolving and keeps on growing, and it's growing us as it grows.
Well, it's wonderful, this spiritual life so connected to the earth, and you're a mother as well.
Yes.
And your daughter was born here, so you're a Swami. You've developed this center here on the mountaintop. You're teaching all over the world. You're a mum. One thing's to be yogi is never being stressed, but tell me, juggling all that.
Well, it is a big juggle, and I can certainly say that I have plenty of stress, and the yogic practice is what helps me. And it's been, for me, that's been the journey, actually. The yoga is my daughter. The yoga is coming up to the retreat, and all of these young people call me mum, actually. So I'm not only mum to one, I'm mum to many. And I feel like actually one of the strongest aspects of our practices is called Karma Yoga, or the oneness with whatever action you do. And I feel like for me that's the practice or the aspect that is helping me with all this juggling. Yeah. Because the reality is, yes, I'm wearing many hats, and it is a struggle to kind of have my mother hat on, and then have my teaching hat on, and then have my business hat on, and to constantly move between those. But I feel like I'm learning flexibility, so I'm not stuck in any one aspect of myself, and also learning presence, because if I lack the presence, then one of those fails. I've been learning also compassion, trust that things will, that's been a big one, trust, and patience.
That things will come.
Things will come the way they're meant to.
Yeah.
Patience, that's been a big one. So for me, the whole journey has been just trying to use the yogic practices to remain present, and each and every one of the aspects of my life are the teaching. Yeah. And so it's not like, okay, now I'm doing yoga, and now I'm mother, and now I'm businesswoman. It's the whole integration of that, and finding the way to be present in front of it all, and using the practices to revitalize my energies. And you mentioned that it's a community here, and I think that that's an important part, is that although we have guests from many different places who come as guests, we also have a very active sannyas community of people that are dedicated and working on their own spiritual growth. And so we all work together and we practice together, and I think that for me has really allowed me to uphold that as well. It's not just me. It's you know, like my daughter has also been raised by some of the people who live there. And
she's a yogi as well, isn't she?
She is.
She's teaching
amazing.
yoga to children. She's how old?
She's turned 14 now.
Oh, bless her. How wonderful.
She's amazing. She's made a CD, and she's actually traveled around the world with us and teaches to young kids.
That's fantastic. Because the more children learn things like this to relieve themselves of stress, as you say, to have presence and balance, that's one of the best skills in life, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't think we can live without stress, but the practices can help us to manage it.
It's what we do with the stress, isn't it? Yeah. It's building that inner resilience. I see the resilience here in the community and in the resources that you have and the years that you've been doing it, because we're moving into an era where we might not have water, we might not have electricity so readily, and you know, you've been practicing and researching what it is to live without that, because I came up here and there's no internet for me.
Right.
Couldn't charge my iPad.
Yes.
And okay, begin the process of decluttering and switching off from my attachments and needs to the things of life. I mean, yes, of course, it's you know, we do need to get on the internet sometimes.
Sure.
But
I mean,
it's about
we're
eking them out.
Internet.
Yeah. It's about using things mindfully, isn't it? And using them well and reusing. It's been a great
not
lesson.
being dependent on it. So it's like you can use it as it's needed, and but also know how to be without it. And I think that is a practice that we try to do here. Yeah,
that's been great. There's one other question I want to ask you, and that is, when I've seen yogi traditions, many of the leaders are male gurus, and you have in your line of yoga a woman who's been a leader for many years, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, we do. We're very lucky actually, because we have both the male and the female representatives, so it's
perfect balance.
It's very balanced, yeah. And Swami Satya Sangananda is who you're speaking about, and she is she lived with Paramahansa Satyananda for many, many years, and he himself was initiated by a tantric woman before living with his guru Swami Shivananda, so he already brought in kind of a feeling of reverence for women's roles, and most of the people actually who run all of his ashrams are women. If you look in Australia, Swami Atma Muktananda is the leader in Australia, she's the Acharya. Right. Swami Hridayananda is a woman, and she's the leader at the other Australian ashram, and I'm working with Swami Mukti Dharma here, so we're a couple, you know, managing it. But many of in his ashrams, many women have been the people to uphold it, and so she really has come up as, you know, the leader of the ashram in Rikya, and very powerful woman. And interestingly, she used to be an air hostess before she became a Swami.
And that I wouldn't have thought.
And she came from a very, you know, well-to-do family and very educated, and was an air hostess. And when she met Swami Satyananda, she dropped everything and moved to the ashram, and she's a very dedicated woman, and through her you know, services, she's been able to feed thousands of children, and they've started a medical center, and it's really been Swami Satya Sangananda who's been behind it, actually. So she very powerful woman.
This is key, isn't it? Finding places where women can step into leadership, but it's not about taking over from men. It is finding places where we can have the masculine and the feminine in balance.
Absolutely.
And bring both of those energies, as you say.
We have different skills or different offerings, and you know, I find in the end, it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. You have to find what your gift is, and then if you can share that, you know, that's the important thing. Yeah. So actually, we're both male and female within us. Yeah.
A balanced male and female, we have to balance those energies.
Yes. And that's what yoga means, actually.
Well, I've really enjoyed my week here, and I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. And
wonderful to have you.
Definitely see me again.
Wonderful. I look forward to it.
So thank you. So signing off from Anahata, and you can find the details of this wonderful retreat. Google it, but you'll see it on my blog, the link for the website.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?